Practice makes perfect. Oh, I love that air drumming. Anyway, Grand Rising, everyone. Welcome to the Daily Huddle. Today is Health and Wellness Wednesdays, and my name is Chase Steele Gray. Thank you so much for being here. As always, if you are new on the Zoom today or to our brand in general, welcome. It's nice to have you here. Uh, I am your host for today. I am a singer, a musician, a crafter, a speaker, uh, many things that I do in my everyday life. If you do not know that about me, or if you're brand new here, just wanted to let you know who I am. And, you know, this topic that we have today is, I believe, on a lot of people's minds. That's why I picked this topic. And, when we talk about the end of the year, or somebody, as some would say, every day is another day. We don't even have to think about it as the end of the year. Just want to know if you, right now, in your current moment, are happy with your weight or the way that you carry yourself around in the world. So, on top of that, when we think about, um, the holiday season, right? What happens during the holiday season? Well, we all know what happens, right? We become happy about all those pies and cakes and turkeys and steaks. Pies and cakes, turkeys and steaks. I've never said that before. I like that. Anyway, um, and we go outside the boundaries, right? We go somewhere else that is not common. We push everything to the edge. I'm going to eat all that. I'm going to go to these parties, or whatever. And we don't think that maybe this is a good time in this cold season, depending on where you are, to hibernate a little bit from the overeating, right? And how do we do that? Well, there's a lot of ways to do it. And I believe all of them are things that should be done slowly, right? There's a saying, by the inch, it's a cinch. By the mile, it's a trial. I heard that many years ago. And it definitely connects to this time of the year. So I'm going to give you some tips, some tools, some things that may help you. And, most of these I'm pretty intimate with myself. Um, Again, definitely no perfection in my life on this level. I have a particular style of eating that I've stayed with for many years. And I might be exploratory on some days, or eat something that I normally don't eat. But for the most part, I'd say 70, 80% of my life is mostly plant based, mostly a place of foods that are soluble for the body, right? The body takes them and goes, oh, thank you. And it just goes right in, no problem, right? So one of the first things I want to talk about is the good old plan ahead, right? Plan ahead. If you're going to work this week for 4 days or 5 days, I love this. I don't know, everybody's different. I love to take something with me if I know I'm going to be sitting somewhere or doing something. I have a very unconventional uh, work life, so it's a little different for me. I don't go to an office every day, but for those of you who do go to the office, to plan ahead and take something with you that you know you like from home, that's quick in a container, and then it's just that, right? Then you're not, oh, let me get this and this and that and this, and you buy four things at lunch and you go back to work feeling like you swallowed three bricks. Not necessary, right? Plan ahead. I always tell people, what's better than knowing you're going to eat what you love to eat because you prepared it at home? What's better than that, right? Also, this is a little trick, and I think I've spoken about this before on maybe a while back. Um, Purposely eating a salad before a meal, right? Now, um, people say, well, what would you say that does? And I would say, it it helps you to just fill up on fiber, and then have like low calories to begin with when you're ingesting, right? That helps the system, and that tells your body, oh, you're feeding me, but you're feeding me this water based stuff first. which makes the body a little calmer and a little bit easier to digest things. You know, on the same level as that, the salad itself, a lot of people, I think I would say in the last few years more than ever, there's a slew of salad recipes all over the internet, like more than I've ever seen, right? Specifically on Instagram. And when I see things on Instagram, I send them back to myself. So I have this whole thing of stuff that I want to make. I have to make it every day for the first part of 25 to get through all of them, right? Take advantage of that. Go online and get some really great salad recipes so that you can take them. And sometimes just eat the salad, right? Because we know that most of the salad is water and we need more water anyway, right? So that's just a little tip. Um, you know, it is said that leaner protein helps you keep fuller longer, right? Now think about that. Leaner protein. We always talk about being plant-based on the Daily Huddle, right? Doing that as much as possible because, hey, the plants have it down, right? The plants know how to survive in all seasons. They know how to survive when things change. They keep coming back. Why not follow the champions of what they do, right? And even in plants. But I would be remiss to not talk about eating more plants without telling you what kind of plants to eat more of, right? People say protein, protein, protein. I need my protein. I need my protein. And as I always say, right? And this is not pushing against people who eat meat. I'm just letting you know, right? That proteins exist in multiple things, not just meat products. And when you look at it, I challenge anyone on this Zoom, go online and look at the many proteins that are plant-based that are also high in protein, right? When you think about certain things, you think about beans, you think about tofu, you think about spinach, broccoli. There's something called nutritional yeast that you might want to check out. It goes on and on and on and on and on and on. If you ever wonder or think in your mind, but what are these proteins that can make me stronger? I don't understand. Well, all you need to do is go online and look at the strength and the musculature of a gorilla or a deer who are eating plants all day, all the time. If they have that protein, so can you, right? Again, this is just a suggestion. This is not to come at anyone who's a meat eater. Eat the meat in varying amounts, or if you can control it to where you're eating meat at a certain time of the month and then not outside of the month. Trust me, during this holiday season, it'll do you no harm. Also, I don't really know that people talk about this too much, but when we talk about all the things that we love, right? Potatoes, rice, pasta, to eat them later in the meal is really good. You don't hear people say that a lot. When we see that buffet, we go to the buffet, we pick it up, we go back and we eat it, right? I know, I understand. I've done it many times. But to eat the carbs later in the meal is a lot easier for the body, right? Remember that I said that next time you're sitting down. Um, I have an acronym that I used to say when I was on another call and I was hosting a daily call such as this. And I used to tell the people water, 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 greens, 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 colors, colors, colors. That was what I used to say all the time. That bunch of words, right? Those 9 words to bring it down to capsulization water, greens, and colors. Water obviously flushes the body out continuously. I've been drinking so much water for the last few days. What's the downside? The downside may be that you're in the bathroom way too much, but clearing the system constantly is so key. It's so key. I know everyone hears everyone say 8 to 10 glasses a day. I get that. It seems unrealistic for most people, but when you do it, you know the difference, right? And the water clears out a lot of the extra sugars that you may have consumed in that day or during the season, right? Just yesterday, I had something that I haven't had in a really long time. It was this. kind of medium-sized Cinnabon. Not normally what I eat, right? It was there. I wanted to try it. It looked amazing. So I had it and I felt it in my body. And I immediately drank more water throughout the rest of the day and I felt fine. Everything was great, right? Um, Now to the tricky topic, the topic of alcohol. Right out the bat, just so you know, alcohol is high in calories. That one sentence right there should set you straight on a lot of levels. But it is the holiday, and people drink more, generally speaking, during a holiday. You're at parties, people invite you over. You know, being a musician and having performed at some of the most incredible parties in the world, I can tell you that I'm non-alcoholic, by the way. I don't drink alcohol at all. I might take a sip of something when someone asks me to try something, but I don't drink alcohol. So I have the time to watch the effect on people more than anyone that I know. And if you want to consume alcohol, if you do consume alcohol, no disrespect to anyone who drinks alcohol, understand that it's high in calories. So you're going to put yourself into more work outside of the food when you're combining them together at these parties, right? So moderation, right? Maybe go into the party, have some food, um, have a little bit of juice or something, and then have a glass of wine or two later in the evening, or um, try something that you've never tried, right? Try a small glass of something or whatever the case may be. We all know that when we have our stomach full of food, the alcohol has a place to go, and make sure that you're not drinking on an empty stomach, right? This is pretty general information, right? All the times when we speak about people exercising, we say exercise regularly, keep the body moving. The main tenet always applies, whether you have 10 holiday parties or not. If you can figure out a way to walk that morning for a mile in your neighborhood, you can figure out a way to walk in the evening again. You've given your body a gift because you're letting it know you want to work this stuff out. You want to work through it in a way where it doesn't sit because that's the enemy, right? We go to the parties, we sit down with our friends. Hey, how you doing? Hey, hey. And you sit there in that chair and you drink and you eat and you drink and you eat and you drink and you eat. And then you can't get up when it's time to go home. And then when you go home, you go to sleep. And the body just sits there and go, oh, okay. That's all we're doing now. We're just laying here, huh? Okay, great. And it can't move the stuff around that you've consumed. So again, basic tenets, right? Um, I read something a little while ago that I thought was really interesting. It said, concentrate on the weight that you enjoy and work on maintaining the weight instead of losing weight. I thought that was a great concept. So as you maintain through obviously activity, running, biking, trampolining, I really want to keep this down to such a no-brainer. Just walk 1 mile a day. You know what's great about walking 1 mile a day? If you walk a mile, you have to come back a mile. That makes it two. I'm in the city. I can get around the city 5 or 6 different ways. I'm just speaking about actually intentionally walking, right? I love walking around the city. I know this city like I know my body. However, there's always different things happening. So put yourself in a stimulating place in your city, wherever you are, and say, I'm giving this gift to my body. I'm walking around. I'm using the energy from some of the not so good food that I've eaten, and as well as the good food, right? We're cleansing. Another topic that I know I brought up in another episode is mindful eating. I said this before. When I traveled, I realized that Europeans ate more mindfully than we did in many ways, right? Sitting down with your partner, by yourself, at work, chewing the food, really crushing it before you swallow it is a huge, huge game changer. But most people don't do it, so we don't think about it, right? Think about a steak. I'm just going to go right in. You get a 32-ounce steak from Peter Luger, right? In Brooklyn, New York. It's like, comes to your table like, pow. If you shave that down bite by bite by bite by bite, and you're sitting there and you're having a nice conversation and you're chewing it, and this is going through your system, through your intestinal system, the body is taking it in softly and digesting it. If you eat that steak quickly, think about these chunks of meat that go through your system. Just think about that. How many chunks of meat can get through your intestine, which, by the way, is not that wide, right? Another, I challenge you also to go online and look at the width of the intestinal tract and tell me if that does not surprise you, how small it is. It may be long, but it's small, right? This is just something to think about. Um, Also, when we're eating, I know that I do this too. When the food is so good and you're eating, and then all of a sudden you're full. You're like, I'm done. I can't eat anymore. And you push the plate away. In this holiday season, keep you eat, but then at a certain point, way before you're full, just stop eating for a little bit. Talk, relax, give yourself a break, 10 minutes maybe. I know the food, you want to eat it hot. I get that. But if you take a break, you literally are giving your body time to go, okay, let's process this for a little bit and then finish the rest afterwards, right? These are all, I know some of these sound like no brainer things. I know they do. I'm just reminding us for this season. And I said this before as well. This is the time of the year, somewhere in mid-December, January-ish to end of January. The Our consciousness is high about losing weight, starting new, the new year, gym memberships, new habits, new resolutions. I believe, and I have to check this again. Uh, the highest percentage of people who put out resolutions somewhere between 19 and 30 something, right? They do it the most, right? However, the problem is most people are done with their resolutions when February starts. Isn't that amazing? By February. So if you make a commitment to yourself, eating wise, to go slow or to do all the mindful things that I discussed, remind yourself that doing it slowly, like I said, by the inch, it's a cinch. By the mile, it's a trial. Do it softly. And if you have someone to, cheer you on and do something in that way, please do it. I always say, especially at this time of the year, and with all the information that we have, do yourself a favor if you don't feel like you can get away from the best things that you love, like all these things that are sugary, high in fat, all these things. Look for substitutes for them. I'm telling you, as sure as you see me right now, there's a substitute for almost everything that you love in one way or another. You just have to look for it and train the body to shift in another direction here or there. You know, I think it was, I'm trying to remember how many years ago it was. There's a place in New York that has a vegetarian or vegan Thanksgiving. When I tell you that everything on my plate, if I close my eyes, I thought about eating Thanksgiving dinner in Jamaica, Queens when I was a young boy. It tasted so good. I had to call the waiter over twice. I was like, I can't believe this is all vegan. This is amazing. So just look for some substitutes to make it easier during this holiday season. You're going to go to some parties. I know it. You're going to see that food. And you might hear a little piece of my voice at any moment. You might, but chances are you're going to eat that food. You're going to go in because it tastes good. It looks good. It feels good, right? I'm just asking you to be mindful of all the things that are going on. Also, I wrote something down, something else that I wanted to say. Um, Long story short, 20 people, it says, what did I wrote something else. Uh, 20% of people are successful in losing roughly 10% of the weight. Think about that. That's very interesting. That's those numbers together. So all the things that I've said to you today, you can incorporate them, but you have to do them mindfully and slowly and intentionally. Do not shock your system. Be happy. Do what you normally do, but differently. How about that? Right? take it down a little bit. Instead of having 2 plates of sweet potato turkey and blah, 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 have 1 plate, have a drink, and have a piece of a dessert. You will feel the difference in your body. I promise you. And for those of you who are like, look, I got to eat my food, Chase. It's that time of year. I got to eat that. I'm already feeling it. I got to have it. It's the holidays. I got to have it. Then amp up your activity. Walk a little bit more. Pull that rusty, dusty bike out of the garage. Clean it up. Ride around the block a couple times, right? I'm just saying. I'm just giving you a couple pointers. Now, I would love to hear from you. What has worked for you this year in the last 8 to 10 minutes or so? If anyone wants to chime in, what are some of the things that have worked for you during the holiday season as we talk about properly losing weight in the season? Anyone want to chime in?
Hi,
Ingrid.
on the trampoline.
All right, girl, right there on the screen. I like that. Wow.
Okay, so I'm saying you could
That's awesome.
also eat a little something healthy before you go to these parties, so that way your stomach is already has something in there, so you
Truth.
won't be tempted as much. Some maybe some nuts which has the fat and the protein and the carbs
That's
to
right.
fill you.
That's right.
And also the Japanese have this thing where they eat till they're 80% full.
Yes,
So
that's what I
if
was
you
saying.
feel
Right.
full, you just put the plate aside. There's always later. You know the candy now and later. And if you don't have to eat everything that's on the plate, and also you can use smaller plates. If they have the dinner plate, you can use the salad plate for your
Smaller
food.
plates. Yes.
Yeah,
I like that.
yeah. That's it for now.
I was going to ask you to get a nice jump in right there. Let's see you do a nice. Oh, there you go. Wow. That's amazing. Thank you for showing that. It's like we're on the screen and you showing us what to do. Hallelujah. I love that. Thank you so much, Ingrid. Who else has something to talk about in the holiday season about losing the weight? Anyone? All right. No problem. No problem. So, you know, I say this to people all the time. If you don't know what to do or you're lost in this time of the year where most people are hibernating or going in or whatever, please consult the internet. Please go to a bookstore. You know, uh, a while ago, many years ago, when people were having problems with situations and weight loss and whatever, it seemed like they were embarrassed to go and speak to somebody or go here or go there. The information is there. I'm telling you, it's there, right? So, oh, Sherelle, my good man.
Hello, Chase. Something just came up for me, right?
But of
You
course,
know, how in my brain, it's always been the case that when I look in the mirror and admire myself, it's a sign of vanity, and that's bad.
mm,
And I'm discovering the exact opposite, that what's been motivating me to stay in shape is my selecting an avatar in the world.
mm.
So, and my avatar is not something far-fetched. It's actually Lenny Kravitz.
That's my boy.
So I have a picture of Lenny Kravitz
Mhm.
that I look at every now and then. And then I'll go look at myself in the mirror. And I said,
Right.
man, I'm not there yet.
You need some locks, Sherelle. I'll send you some. They can populate
Well,
on.
you know, from the neck down, that is.
Okay, I'm just saying if you want to. My bad.
So I go, I'm not there yet. So I find myself motivated and inspired, not by the look per se, but by the habits. So what I wanted to contribute to the pot this morning is a couple of practices. One, select an avatar in the world and let that avatar be something that pulls me forward
Correct.
without the world of what comparison or comparing my body to some other body would create, right? And then two, check myself regularly. So I go in the mirror and I go, you're not there yet, buddy. A couple of more broccoli stems and a few more carrots, some fruit shakes and protein and lots of water. So I practice and I practice and I practice. So when I get there, Chase, we'll do an episode together and I'll do just like Ingrid's doing.
This is
I'll be on the trampoline.
I like
and we'll play like that.
Let me give you your flowers, Sorrel. You're a handsome dude, okay? You know you're my brother. You're a good-looking guy. And I saw you in person, and I was impressed with the way you kept yourself. So I'm just giving you're doing well.
I got that. I got that.
I'm just letting you know in case
but it's there because I've picked avatars over the years, and it's like
right. And Lenny has been an avatar for me for many years as well, because he shows that it can be done. Yeah. If we just leave it right there, right, it can be done. Yes, he's a musician. Yes, he's moving around the world. He's doing, but he does his own work. I've done lots of research on Lenny. And by the way, I have a friend who worked with Lenny for 4 years, so I have inside information. And yes, she was backup singer with Lenny for years, and she told me he's strict about what he puts into his system, period. And it's funny because there's a clip with him and Denzel Washington. If I find it, I'll send it to you. They were on, where were they? They were either on Leno or something. Denzel and Lenny are very good friends. They know each other's families. They travel together. And he said, I went to Italy with this guy. We went to all these places. We were hanging out, and I was eating. And every time I looked at him, he was like, I'm good. And he was like, we're in Italy, man. You're not going to eat food with me? He goes, man, got an album coming out. I'm about to go on tour. He said, well, I don't have an album coming out. This is good food, whatever. And they were talking back and forth. So even in the midst of the temptation, and this is, over the years, look at Lenny in 1990 and look at him now. It's not that much different. How did he do that? Consistency, choices. I mean, that's it. We don't have to make it complicated, right?
Yeah, I believe he's also vegan.
He was vegan for a while. I think he's still vegan. I think he's almost 100% vegan.
And he works out like crazy. I'm connected to him on Instagram, and he just inspires me. He be working out with jeans and a belt on and doing these inverted flips and all this stuff. He's very inspirational.
Right.
So I approve your avatar.
Right.
You're in, Greg.
Exactly.
Stamp of approval.
The thing that I saw, just to give a takeaway to this, is that there's a video where he talks about his home in Brazil. He has a big farm in Brazil, like it's just beautiful. And when he went into the kitchen, he had literally 40 or 50 fruits on a big table. So he could just come in the morning and eat whatever kind of fruits he wants every day. Again, setting up ourselves for the proper habit. If you walk into the kitchen and you see, pears, apple, grapes, bananas, you're going to eat that. You put it there, it's out. I love that. That was my favorite part of that video, right? So great. Thanks for that, Sorrel. I appreciate you. And I approve the avatar, and you look great. I'm just going to say it out loud because you're my brother and I love you. You look amazing. Anyone else like to chime in before we take it down the road, as we say?
I'm just saying that everything you said is great and right on point. And if you take these into consideration and start these practices, as Chase is suggesting, for the holiday season, why not take it on to the year and see how long you can do it? For the birthday season, for the beginning of spring, for the 4th of July, there's always going to be a season. But we really have to be conscious of what we put in. Meal prepping, meal prep, you take your food to work, you don't have to worry about what they're serving or what you have to buy in the area, what the vending machine is subliminally telling you to go and purchase, It's all about being proactive, as you very well stated in your share today.
Correct. And that's how it is. I didn't mention this before, but meal prepping ahead of time, at least, I've done meal prep in the past for 7 days ahead, 5 days ahead. You also save money. You do it all at one time and it's there. You don't have to buy all these crazy expensive. Listen, I live in New York City. When I tell you some of the prices of stuff that I've spent on being out, you'd be like, what? It's not even, I don't even want to talk about it right now. We'll talk about it in another one. But thank you so much, Ingrid. I appreciate that. And yes, let's wrap it up at this point, because there's so much more information. I could do a part 2 on this. There's so many things I didn't say that I put into practice that I would love for other people to put into practice. But hey, we're here. We've got time on another time. Thank you all for being with us today. And I want to end with the tenets that we always end with, because again, just like working on losing weight for the new season, these tenets follow us all around no matter what we do. First is to love, 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 love bigger than you have before, right? Give a little love to the left and the right, to those people that you might not even think deserve it, but maybe today is the day to give them some of that, right? Laugh as much as you possibly can, because laughter definitely creates endorphins and makes the body feel lighter. So much to laugh about right now. So much to laugh about. Also, move the body, as we talked about, because moving is going to create so much energy and make the body know that we appreciate it, that we're grateful for it, and that we can definitely become stronger. Also, we also always talk about plant-based, because plant-based is the thing that our body really deals with the easiest, right? So we can take a couple of days a week or a couple hours a day to just have juice, just have waters and cleanse the body, or water soluble things obviously are great for the body. Sleeping more than 5 or 6 hours, if you can get 7 or 8 in, it would be spectacular. And you know that it would be. And also, stress less, you know. I always forget to say this when I'm on here. Look at some past daily huddles, ones that you may have missed. Go online, check them out, get a book, take some of the points down from some past daily huddles, right? That to me will cause you to stress less, because you'll have some information that you haven't seen before. And as always, please check yourself before you wreck yourself. What you see in front of you might not be what you think it is. So check it and lead with a smile. Have a spectacular day, everybody. Thank you so much for being here.
Peace, Chase. Take care, family.